Good day, sunrise. It's the underscore esoteric soji, Moss 808. No need for introductions, but we're grand rising on this numerology 9 day. So wisdom teaching, collective love, collective embrace. We already have, it's my astrology page, so we already have Saturn, Sun, Mercury, Neptune in Piscean dreamland, two fishes, T and La like energies in our imagination, imagine the nation. But today's topic, y'all, is that we are not getting any older. We aren't millennials. Our bodies, our mentalities, this mental health wave of acknowledgement and late diagnosis or late comparative to like all kinds of trauma, generational healing, curses, hexes, spells, timelines, generational healing, generational curses. We are recently updated on our mental awareness and diagnoses as adults. That's what I'm coming from with we aren't getting any older millennials, because the responsibilities that are being passed down upon us that we experience via the war on drugs and our parents like becoming aware but being abrasive, being thrust into their projections onto our childhood, onto the things that we are nostalgic about that we wouldn't think you would have nostalgia over. Like I said, the war on drugs, people realizing, our parents realizing their drug habits, realizing themselves, realizing like, hey, this little motherfucker is gonna grow up, or soul is gonna grow up and challenge my authority by projecting back the knowledge and awareness. Like, we aren't getting any older. We aren't receiving any responsibilities that we haven't already had before, spiritually and like mentally, like coming down here into these forms, into these bodies, into these avatars. Like, if you choose to come back down here, as far as getting lost into numerology, gene keys, and by getting lost, I mean you get lost to find yourself. True. But how long are you lost? How long are you in your ego and then your pride before you ask for help? Like, we're breaking down and peeling back the layers of the ego, the phoenix in ego, the inner child ego, the ego death and ego maniacal and things of that nature. Like, we aren't getting any older. The time feels like it's speeding up. If you're on or off your purpose, shout out Mooney Mercury, baby, go check out his channel. But feel like time is speeding up. The linear concept of time, like the shadow government is pushing their agenda, so it's like making you feel like you have to rush into a responsibility. You have to like rush, like how they're forcing, like how millennials aren't having kids, and the government's all like whatever they have the fuck to say, right? But I have a couple of kids that, like, it just happened, but it wasn't forced on me. But you see how time within the last 20 decades of being restrictive with Saturn in Aquarius about being in the house or your associations, like, we aren't getting any older. Like, for real, unless you're in the fixed mentality or you're living back during that time. Even then, that's still a block of ice that you are living in. Like, nostalgia has different meanings for certain people. Like, I was talking to my other half, Pluto and Sagittarius, transforming meanings and reasonings and philosophical points and views, right? And nostalgia for them is like literally nostalgia, like memories, things that you cannot have. But for me, from my point of view, it's like we can have a vulnerable moment. And that's how, like, spiritually, esoterically, mental forms, golems, characters, rituals, hold on, my cat's climbing up the curtains, witchcraft in these forms take shape and form. So when that's us having that responsibility already of keeping these mental forms in checks, the spirit guides in balance and things of that nature, because we're like, that's how hauntings and ghosts are made real quickly, depending upon how much attention that thing is receiving or how charged it is or the environment. Like, that's why we're not getting any older. You see certain Gen Xers, Gen Zers maturing earlier on because of being raised during. Sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry though. My baby's talking. She talking. But coming up during that technology, Leo moons, I tell you. Coming up during that technology era, like me, I'm 28, so we had MySpace. We was already. Let me put her up here. We was already editing our backgrounds, our music, our themes, our groups on MySpace, and like, yeah, we're going back, going way back. But yeah, but now you just got iPads, and they're thrust into it. They're forced to grow up being aware, being consciously aware, because knowledge becomes that insatiable appetite for more knowledge, versus we would have to go outside and experience these things in real time. And yeah, like there's lives like this that children can be watching that's real time. But are you really in class? See, look, now you're about to start getting ahead of yourself, trying to climb all over to get to this phone. You're not getting to this phone. Anywho, but yeah, we aren't getting any older, for real, for real. Like our SO, like I said, if you come back down here, you're not gonna have the same old soul as like feeling like you already experienced these things, like with the 90s and the 80s and things of that nature. You're not, because like the indigo children, rainbow children, alternative dimensions and lessons of teaching to assist humanity, because nothing can save you except outside of yourself, except you go eternal. But like, yeah, that generation come down here, indigo, rainbow children. It's not many old souls. There are old souls that appear to be like that form, but it's like that's that version of that rainbow and indigo child experiences, already having those tools and knowledge of awareness, putting two and two together with technology and trends, and then the transition of certain pre Pluto and Capricorn energies, where you have to feel like you're transforming your status as far as using and being used, and doing it in a practical manner, and setting your roots, planting your roots. But it's like, we think about it, like your status and your reputation, as far as your roots, you can reap what you sow, right? And you're sowing seeds, but you're not sowing roots. Your roots grow as the seeds are growing. So it's like, for real, we aren't getting any younger. I mean, we're not getting any older. Why you feel like you and your children are like siblings and things of that nature, because you're bouncing energies off of each other, especially with the Gen Alpha. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be established from a more equalized and balanced state, as far as that social pressure as well. With Saturn and not Saturn. I'm thinking about my son. He's got a lot of Capricorn stellium, but yeah, we aren't getting any. Oh, let me get my cat out the blinds. Get out of the blinds. Woo! We aren't getting good, baby. We aren't getting any older, for real. And that's not to say like you're childish and things of that nature. It's just like all the responsibilities. That shit's it's literally a new world, and when you're coming into a new world, like Avatar, not the Airbender, but the actual movie, the newest one, Way of the Water. When they got a homie that got the mask, and he's between two worlds of his father, and then but not being of like the aliens, like being the middle child, being the actual avatars, instead of picking sides just by your spiritual system alone with the locks and stuff, like the adaptation of his bodily autonomy on a whole new world, and no one's holding him accountable except for his father. And so it's like he's constantly trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, betrayal after almost getting killed all the time, right? But it seems like he's not getting, make use of the time while it's here now, because you aren't getting any older. It's not like time's not maturing, where okay, you're carrying this well into your middle ages, or in the upper echelon of your years and the age thereof. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm getting on here and uh, applying this message to somebody. If you see my new live, goal up there to be generally effective with, what I'm saying, impacting someone on this day and things of that nature, for real, because we aren't getting any older. Today's, like I said in the intro, today's numerology 9-day wisdom teaching the collective expansion, and like that's the whole phrase. My whole flipping mentality on we not getting any younger because Saturn in Pisces, freaking. Diva show gifts. Anyways, Saturn in Pisces is fragile boundaries, fragile borders that deteriorate. It's like kind of like an illusion. You gotta project an illusion. Practically, like you have to make it and birth it. You know, with the North Node and Chiron, it's a wound there because you don't want to limit yourself of being an individual and being independent, right? But at the same time, it's gotta be your intuition. You have to trust the process. You know what I'm saying? Trust the technique. And Lilith is in Virgo. I was making an aspect to that while you guys are here. That Lilith in Virgo. Where you trying to go, Mama? Right now. That Lilith in Virgo. That Lilith in Virgo is like the sun in Virgo. It's like the being that I want you to pass through. It's like the being that you're trying to pass through. Trying to force Lilith and Virgo, you know what I'm saying, being all pure pressure with the virgin energy being wrapped into itself and analyzing it and critiquing. What are you trying to get the moment? Like,
I'm pumping because she didn't want to eat the rest of this booze.
She wants to eat.
Ouch. Here. Just take her. She don't want to eat. Here. See? Here. You know what? Just get her out of here. Get her out of here. Can you grab my charger from my...
I'm on live. Can you say something?
I'm sorry. Can you bring me my computer bag? I have to work and my boob hurts. Some of us have to breastfeed.
Some of you gotta spit it out.
Just bring me my computer bag. Useless kitty man.
But yeah, pretty much we aren't getting any older. You're not getting any older.
What the fuck is my baby?
Back there.
Ow!
I'm sorry that it hurt you, baby. It wasn't the intended. That wasn't the intended.